Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Burnt. If you don't know what Burnt is, it's a podcast dedicated to one of the best TV shows ever to hit the airwaves. I'm talking about Worst Cooks in America. And I have a very special guest with me today. You know, I've been saying special guests every episode because they all are special. We really are. But this is extra special because not only was she from my season 18, she also won the whole thing. Spoiler alert, everybody, welcome Shannon. How you doing, bud?
Yeah.
What's up, bud? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You are the first person that I've had on the show that has actually won the entire thing.
Yes.
So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Sorry, people. If you haven't watched our season by now, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing? You have to get on it. Come on now. It's really good. It's funny.
It is very funny. They couldn't have done a better casting job for that cast, I think. Everybody was just so perfectly casted.
Yeah, no, they could not have done a better. Like, it was perfect. Everybody like blended well. Everybody had their own personalities. It was crazy. Yeah.
I forgot who I was talking to about it with you, Leslie, I think. And we were talking about you, like how you were kind of this quiet girl on set and everything, but like when the camera stopped rolling, I'm like, you wild. Okay, you played the game correct. You played it right and you won. So congratulations. Well, we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into all that.
You guys probably thought I was quiet on set. Maybe behind the scenes I was a little more quiet in the green room, but like when we were cooking, I was pretty goofy and like crazy. But yeah, in the green room, I was more like,
yeah, you're like just like spying and everyone. I'm gonna people out. Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, honestly, when Alex left, that's when I was just done. I was just like, "Aw, my friend's gone." Like, I liked everybody, but I liked everybody, but like me and Alex were hella cool.
Yeah, I definitely have it's a memory embedded in my head, and I'm gonna bring it up on here about you and Alex for sure. This is the podcast all about. Nobody really wants to know about the cooking. Some people do. Right. It's more about the fun stuff that we did off camera.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that, like I said. So let's start from the beginning, Shannon. Okay. How did you find out about this show called Worst Cooks in America? Have you been a fan of the show before?
No, I knew nothing about the show. My mom actually watched it because she loves the Food Network. And like she was just like watching TV and she's like, I want to go on this show. And I was like, you want to go on the Worst Cooks in America? And she was like, you know what? You should apply. And I was like, okay, it makes more sense. So that's how I did it. I just looked up the application, saw that they were casting, and then I just did it.
Look at that. Do you ever get this question for the people that don't know anything about the show? They ask, so Worst Cooks in America. So you're trying to be the worst? So why don't you just pretend to cook bad? I'm like, no, you got to be the best of the worst. That's
exactly the best of the worst. They don't get it.
Right. Okay. I'm not the only one that gets that question. Cool.
Yeah. So they're like, you're the best worst cook. And I'm like, I'm not the worst anymore.
Exactly. You're definitely not the worst cook in America anymore. And I think we're on season 20 right now or 21.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Yeah. That's a lot of seasons, man. They knock those out quickly.
Back to back.
Yeah, but it's a hit show. Everybody loves that show when it's on. Like that. Before I got on the show, I don't watch a ton of TV, but that show was definitely one of them. My guilty pleasures with my wife and I, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, awesome. And she was the one that like brought it up to me. She's like, "Why don't you audition?" I'm like, "Well, first of all, you're a chef, so I don't need to cook. That's why I don't cook." So, but yeah, everything worked out. So you did the audition tape. I'm guessing same thing like us, and you filmed it. You uploaded it to the YouTube, and then you sent it out to the casting people, and they liked you enough to bring you on the show. But tell me, what was your audition video? What did you cook?
I made fried chicken breast, and I stuffed it with goat cheese, spinach, and I stuffed it with goat cheese and spinach, and then I fried it, and then I did some veggie loaded French fries. The French fries were not thoroughly cooked. They were like, the cuts were horrible. And then I used like onions, tomatoes, and all that crap was raw. and I just dumped it on top of the fries.
I mean,
And
it
then
sounds good.
It sounds good, but cooked poorly. It's very bad. And then I had a side of almond milk cornbread.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, that does sound, and it's out there, right, in the world, so people can actually see this audition.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Where can they find it? Like on what, Vimeo or YouTube?
On YouTube. On my YouTube, I forgot the YouTube name. I can
Okay,
just look.
search Shannon's audition or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll come up.
Worst cooks. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll give you the link. Maybe you can tag it or something.
Yeah, I'll blast that out there for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people always have this question as well. Like, how do people get off work for such a long period of time to go film? Because when we were there, you were there for the long haul. You were there for what, a month?
Yeah, a month.
At least. So like, what do you do for a living that allows you to get off that time?
So at the time I was in school for cosmetology, and they have a policy where if you miss more than 10 days, you get dropped. So we were 2 weeks into recording, and no, I'm sorry, we're 1 week into recording, and they called me and they were like, hey, you've missed about 7 days already. So are you coming back? And I was like, look, I can't come back. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm gonna win this fucking show, but I believe that I can. So I was like, I'm sorry, like, contact me in a couple days. So on the 10th day, they're like, this is the last day you can miss. If you don't come tomorrow, then you're gonna get dropped. And I was like, don't drop me.
Well, you made the right decision because you end up winning the show. So
right, like, sometimes we have to just really trust our intuition and just go for it, and it benefited me. And then as soon as I was done with the show, I re-enrolled, and then I went right back to it.
So right now, are you doing like cosmetology and all that stuff?
I'm already licensed. I'm done with school, and now I'm working in a salon. Sweet. Been in a salon for a year now.
Nice. That's awesome. I think Leslie does hair too. Like, she owns a salon, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah. Sure does.
Okay, cool. So like, you get the call, you're all packed, you're ready to go, and I'm assuming you tell like probably your mom that you're going on a show, because we have to sign this huge non-disclosure where we can't tell anybody. But the thing is, I always say this, like, if I were just to leave and not tell my wife, like, I'm getting divorced. Like, I gotta let her know what's going on. So did you tell anybody? Like, did you tell your mom, like, hey, I made the show, I'm leaving?
Yeah, I did. I told my mom and my brother. And so my mom, she's paranoid about it. She's like, what if it's not real? What if the sex traffickers? And I was like, Mom, don't say that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. These days, you never know, right? She's not wrong.
She's like, but you're going by yourself. I'm like, I'm going.
That's adorable, actually.
Yeah.
So, okay, so cool. You tell your mom, you get here. We're filming in New York. The reason I can say that because I remember seeing you here in New York. So you get off the flight, and did you land in JFK or was it LaGuardia?
JFK.
Was anybody else from the cast on your flight, or did you see anybody from the airport?
On my flight, no, but we were in the band together on the way to the hotel. It was Kelly and Leo.
Oh, really?
So funny how Leo was there.
Yeah, all three of you guys were like the last.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun fact right there.
That was a special van.
It was. Wow, that's the winning van right there. Okay, so you get there. I don't know if you remember me, the initial meeting of the cast, I wasn't there. Do you remember that?
I don't remember you being there.
Yeah, I was not there the first day because my flight got delayed in Chicago.
Oh.
So I ended up getting to the hotel at midnight. So I had no idea who anybody was, but that's for another episode. For you, when you first met everybody, did you look around like, okay, this is the worst cook in America cast? Yeah.
I was like, and like pretty much everybody was good looking and like looked like they were really established. And I'm like, how do you guys not know how to cook?
Exactly. You would think everybody knows how to cook, like at least something. But there are special people out there in the world that just never. We were one of them. I'm still one of them. Did you click with anybody right away?
Alex. That was my girl. She was the homie. Yeah, she was so cool from the jump. Ryan was hella cool from the jump too. Like I enjoyed him. As soon as I saw Ryan walk in the room, he had this big old jacket on and he had this face like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like,
He's so
okay, there's something
sassy.
special about. Yeah, I was like, there's
So
something
much
special about
sass.
that guy. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I remember when I first got there that night at midnight, I went downstairs to like make something in a microwave, and I saw some guy hanging out there, and he was cooking something in the microwave as well. So I'm like, okay, we're both here at the microwave. We can't cook. And I asked him, I was like, hey, are you on any TV shows out here? And he's like, no, but I would love to be. I'm like, oh, never mind. Sorry, because we couldn't talk about it. Oops, not you.
Right. I gotta go.
Yeah, but the next day, and I saw everybody come downstairs, and I saw Lulu in her little tutu. I'm like, oh, here we are. This makes sense. And then I saw you. I think you had your little cat hair in, right?
Yeah.
What do you call those things?
My kitty ears.
Kitty ears. There you go. Look at you trying to be all adorable so we don't send you home. Oh, you play the game so well. Nice. So I want to ask you a couple of questions. Like, was there anything that you did or we did that we weren't probably supposed to do? Like, there's a lot of rules in these shows that you can't leave the hotel, you can't be on your phone. Like, if you want to, say anything at all for the people listening, that we were kind of a rowdy cast, and you can go ahead and piggyback off that if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I might have got a little too intoxicated and like tried to twerk on the bartender at the hotel.
I was hoping you said that. I do remember.
I might have done a little bit of that, got a little drunk. Hotel parties, we had curfew. We had to be in our rooms by 9. We were out in each other's rooms.
We did?
We
I don't remember that.
Twerking on Kevin, like
oh, my gosh.
It was his first twerk. He never got a lap dance, buddy. So I was like, I have to do this.
I have that on camera. I have that somewhere on my phone. The face of Kevin when he's like,
he didn't know what to do. His hands were like,
and you're twerking on him, and I'm like, oh my God, he had no idea what to do.
Nothing.
It was a good time though, man. We were fun. We didn't break anything crazy rules. Like, we were just we built relationships really fast.
Yeah. It was also my birthday out there. My birthday was April 12th, so we weren't allowed to post on social media. So I was like, you know what? It's my goddamn birthday.
It was your birthday? Did I know it was your birthday? Oh, did you even tell us?
I don't think you were there. I think you were gone by then.
Was I gone? Oh, I was gone. Okay.
Yeah. So I posted a picture on social media, and I didn't get any trouble for it, but I knew that the cast member, Jamie and them. Yeah. Yeah, I know they were looking at me like, why'd you do that?
I mean, as long as you're not posting that you're on the show, you're fine.
Exactly.
I was posting.
Really?
Yeah, I was posting daily. But it was nothing about me being. It was more like just like random. Hey, how's the weather? There's nothing at all that led to know that I was on a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely remember you and Alex behind the bar with, I don't even know who that guy was, the bartender or whatever.
Kevin.
Wow, you remember his name.
We were in love with Kevin. Like, he was fine.
And I believe that's the night like Alex went home too.
Yeah, so
we went out with celebrating. Yeah, she went out with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta have her get on here and talk about that, because that was fun. But I'll never forget again Kevin's face when he started twerking on him, and me and Ryan, Mike, Monica, we're just laughing our asses off. We couldn't help it, man.
That was so funny.
But I like talking about stuff like that, because there's not a lot. You don't know that side of us on the show. Like, you can see that we're fun and goofy, but it's kind of stressful when you're cooking, and we don't really come off like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun sometimes.
Yeah.
But we had it was a fun cast.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about the day you show up to boot camp, and the first time those doors swing open, those double doors, and you see Alton Brown and Chef Ann. What was that feeling like for you?
It was a lot to take in. I was like, wow, I'm really here. And I was like pretty nervous. Like I had butterflies. I haven't had butterflies in years. Like it was awesome.
It was. All the
Yeah.
lights, the cameras, like it's just
Yeah.
such an incredible set. And then
Yeah.
for me watching it on TV and then I'm in that same spot that I've seen people on, it's kind of surreal,
Yeah. It's like,
That's cool.
oh.
Do you remember when you got picked for the red team? What did you do?
I busted out a cartwheel.
Absolutely. And I have to thank you for that because a lot of people message me all the time, hey, you're the cartwheel guy. I'm like, no, I am not. Shannon is, but because of her, I did that. Yes. So
that was so funny when you did that. I loved it.
I'm like, cartwheel.
Yeah.
That was funny. It was fun though. Before you got on the show, did you practice cooking at all? Because we're not supposed to really practice, I was told. But at the same time, you want to win the money. So like I'm watching my wife cook. I'm like, oh, okay. Did you do anything like that?
I wouldn't say practice like that. I definitely cooked before, but it always went bad. So like
same.
I guess that's practice. So yeah, like over the years growing up, I've always tried to cook something and my mom would be like, what are you doing? So yeah.
What was the were you ever in the bottom?
Yeah,
like elimination? You were?
It was me, Bridget, and Leslie, and I think me and Leslie ended up at the bottom, or either me and Bridget, and that was the scariest day of my life. I was like,
what was that dish that almost sent you home?
I can't remember, but I do know that nobody got sent home that episode.
Oh, it was one of those episodes no one gets sent home. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I remember telling Kelly, because they didn't air a lot of stuff that went down between Kelly and Chef Brown Alton. Like he was, I don't know if you remember this, he would give her a lot of crap, like all the time. And
she would be stressed.
Yeah, she would cry. I'm like, hey, listen, there's an episode, because I think it was the episode where she used the wrong pan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, listen, I think they do an episode where nobody goes home one day, and we were like on already episode 3 or 4, and I'm like, you might not go, so just relax. And that was the episode. She was in the bottom, and they cut home. She's like, oh my god, I can't believe you were right. I'm like, I told you. And then she went to the finals. Well, almost went to the finals. So yeah.
Almost, yeah. Crazy.
Cool. Yeah. So you almost went home that episode. Tell me what it's like going to the finale, because it's a different setup. Like, what's different about just like the regular boot camp or going to finale? Because I don't know that experience.
So the finale, we were at this small restaurant. I think it was like a 5-star restaurant, and it was a really small, tight kitchen.
Okay.
And so like it was just the whole time. It was like a bittersweet thing. Like, so I used to run track, and when I would go to track meets,
same.
Like I used to, like I go numb. Like I'm not thinking about anything.
Okay.
I'm just like strictly just motion. Like I'm just moving. So like when we got there, we had to wait a few hours before we could start to cook. And so we were just sitting around, chilling. We had a little bit to eat. Yeah. And I was just acting like it was a regular thing. Like I didn't have a big old finale. I didn't have $25,000 on the line. Yeah. And then once we got in the kitchen, I'm like, okay, time to cook. And so I'm just like in the mood, just going. Chef Ann, she's talking me through a lot of things and making sure I stay on track. So without Chef Ann, I definitely would have lost my mind, because I did go blank. And for a second, when I first started to cook, I was really clumsy, because that's when the nerves hit, when like we were really in it. And then once I got in the groove of cooking, everything just felt like so smooth and effortless. And so I also heard Leo on the other side freaking out, and I just let me block that energy, because I don't need that.
So are you guys close, like encounter, like you and Leo? Are you guys right next to each other? You said it's a small kitchen.
Yeah, we're pretty close. Yeah, but
are you guys cooking at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So same thing like the show. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and all we had to divide us was like a shelf, like not even a shelf. It was just like my table, his table. It's kind of like the boot camp setup, but just a little bit longer of a table.
And the dish that you made for like, was it like a 3-course dinner, right?
Yeah.
Do they tell you when you first arrive on set this is what you're gonna cook, or they do the day before, right? You go over it.
Yeah, so we do our practice meal. We cook it with Chef Ann, and
Oh yeah, that's correct.
yeah, so like she's like cooking with me, walking me through the whole process, and pretty much the whole time, like I'm doing everything as she's teaching me. So the demo was me doing the demo, and then awesome. The next day we do it all by myself.
So that got to be like, that's such an intimate moment too with Chef Ann, like because you're the last one there, and it's just you and her. Like, how did you get a chance to like talk to her off camera at all? And like, is she the same person like on like the show or she's off camera? Like, can you talk about that?
Yeah, she's the same. Like, okay, so on camera they make Chef Ann seem like she's just this like hardcore badass, but like she's really a sweetheart. So like I can't say she's more of a sweetheart off camera. She loves her cats and everything, so she's like all like cutesy and stuff. And she's really supportive, and she really wants the best for anybody that she's teaching. So
that's good.
Yeah,
I love that. That's good to know. You ever okay, so you end up going against Leo, and it comes down. Did you think you were gonna win? Like, were you nervous? Like, what was going through your head when they announced the winner? You're like, do I clap for I don't know how it would be if I would ever was in that situation. Like, I would be happy for the person that won, but at the same time, I'd be so mad. like I'm not gonna lie. Like, shit, I want that money. What was going through your head right there?
Exactly. So when they were judging our dishes, I forgot what plate I had. Like, it was a whole year ago, so I forget a lot. Yeah. But they were saying something about my plate, and they were like, yeah, this plate did that and that, but the other plate was this and this. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna lose. Like, I thought I was gonna lose. And then they said my plate was the winning plate. And then I just was like, what?
Yeah.
And like, it was a lot to process. And Chef Ann was like, you won. And I was like,
I did.
She's like, come on now. Like, and I was like, oh, okay. That's so amazing. Like, but I felt bad immediately for Leo.
I know, like, because we went through this. I mean, you guys go through this all together. We're with each other for a month at a time, like every single day, 16-hour days.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, like, you want that person to feel good, but at the end of the day, it's like, it is a competition, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You played the game, so congratulations to that.
Yeah.
Man. You ever get recognized for winning in public or anything like that?
Only once. And really? it was actually the day before the finale. I was at Walmart, and it's funny how this happened. So I'm walking, and there's this tiny little old lady, like real frail, and she stops right in the middle of me. And I was just like watching her, and I'm like, okay, what are you going? What are you doing, little lady? Yeah. And I look up, and there's this lady staring at me, and I'm like, okay, so maybe this is her grandma or something. So I'm like, all right, well, she's watching out for her grandma. And then I just continue on my way. And then I'm over there in like the first aid kit area. And then I go to the other side where the produce is. And I see that same lady, but without the old little lady. And she's just walking, and she's just like,
just staring
and
at
then
you.
out of nowhere, she's like, I know you. And I was like, what? She was like, tell me if you won the show right now. And I was like, what?
That's hilarious. I
was like, oh, no. And she was like, you tell me right now. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. You have to wait till tomorrow. She was like, I've been watching since day one. I'm loyal. You tell me right now. And I was like, I can't.
No, that's one thing we definitely cannot talk about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow, yeah. That's funny. So
yeah, that was the only time.
$25,000. I remember we all talked about this, and I want to see if you're still going to hold true to this. We were all in, I don't know whose room, maybe my room, and we were like, yo, whoever wins, we're all going to go out to a drink, and the drink's on them. So you owe us a drink, Shannon.
All right, well then.
If you still have any of that money left over, would you do anything fun with the money, or?
I did a lot. I didn't do anything fun with it because COVID.
Sure.
But I definitely given my mom money for a down payment for a house. I helped my brother get a lawyer for his issues with his kids. I helped my best friend out. I got Invisalign, so Taking care of my teeth. Yeah, and I still have some saved up, so I'm thinking about investing that money into my own salon suite.
I love that. That man, congratulations on everything. I'm so happy it happened to you or Leo. I wasn't fine with either one. Obviously, I'm on the blue team, so I mean, but still, the stuff that you did with the money, I'm okay with it. So congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Where can people find you at on social media if you want everybody to come and watch you do your thing?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Shannon Marie, but the A's are B. So SHBNNON_ Marie MVRIE.
All right, no one's gonna remember that, so I'm just gonna tag you in this video.
Tag me in that.
We'll do that. But I do appreciate you coming on. It's been a fun time, and I miss you. And I'm gonna hold you to that drink.
Thank you. And one thing for anybody that's thinking about getting casted onto this show, this is one thing that I did notice about a lot of our cast. Everybody was like, "Oh, this person's gonna win, and that person's gonna win," but no one was really putting enough into themselves. And when a lot of the cast were doing that, like, I was the one in the quiet in the background. I never manifested that on myself.
I love
so
that.
For anybody that wants to go on this casting on this show, don't doubt yourself.
I love that. That's a nice knowledge of nuggets right there. I love that. Mm-hmm. Congratulations again, Shannon. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. And again, we're gonna get together because you owe the whole cast a drink.
All right, come on down to Arizona.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. This has been another episode of Burnt. Thank you, Shannon, for coming on. You can find this episode every Wednesday on wherever you stream your podcast. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. This is Burnt.
Bye.
All right. Perfect.